Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's start with your team, the Kansas City Chiefs. So the way I ordered it, all of them, I did the one who finished the top to the bottom. So we're doing it in that order, how they finished last year. So let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs, who finished 15-2 last year. They lost in the Super Bowl, as we already talked about. They were fifth. They had the 15th best offense in the league, 14th pass, 22nd run offense, and then their defense was the fourth best scoring defense, which is the one I care about because it's how many points you're allowing.
Right.
What was your favorite move they made this offseason?
They went through and because the Eagles completely blew it apart, the Chiefs went through and fixed that offensive line.
Yeah, that's
At least in my view. At least
yeah,
I think they did.
yeah.
They signed, Creed and trade a long-term deals to keep them in place. They got the left tackle that I just hope protects Patrick's blind side. And if Simmons comes out or cleans out correctly as they project, if they can give Patrick one more second, then man, that's going to make a world of difference, and it'll help that vertical game too.
Yeah, agreed. That's what I had. The offensive line, keeping Smith, Moore, and drafting Simons. I think all that just trying to solidify that off.
Simons.
Is that how Simmons or
No, no,
Simons?
it's. I read it. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I've just seen like tons of tweets about it. So
Sure. Is it
if it's
Simmons or
Simmons or
Simons?
Simons, is it
Simmons.
Simons?
Yeah, I've heard it both ways. That's what I say. But anyway,
Yeah,
point being is the fact that they addressed their offensive line, like you said, they got blown apart last year. And we know that if Mahomes has time, he is going to make defense feel it. And then just a little sneaky move I put down. Oh, well, Rice being healthy, I think that's a positive, although we have to see how his meeting with the NFL goes at the end of the month,
yeah.
September. And then a sneaky one, I like the Cream Hunt move because he's just bringing him in again, and even though he's just the backup with Pacheco, who's not always healthy, I think that's a good move too. So
Yeah,
those were some of my
and Green,
favorites.
give him a year, and I I agree. I mean, to me, that's a good signing. I think also signing Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Agreed.
what last year was just bad. I mean, obviously the
Injuries.
injuries
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean, I think Kareem, get and he'll be in game shape. It took him literally half the year to get into game shape,
Yeah.
and so what we saw in the playoffs. If we can get that for most of the year, and that's incredibly helpful.
Yeah, even if you could save Pacheco from getting a lot of hits, because that's the other thing is you're seeing a lot of teams, even like a team like the Lions, who have a really good running back in
Right.
Gibbs, they still split carries. I think that's the way the NFL is because it's so fast and violent at times. You need to have sort of two running backs to lighten the load for each other. So I like
And
that.
and and to go with your point with that, even like Kareem, is an underrated pass catcher out of the backfield.
Agreed.
And yeah, I don't know. I think Patrick does trust Pacheco, but you know, even when Kareem came back last year, man, it was instant that he would check down to that quickly if he was in trouble. So, I think that hopefully will move the chains on the offense further too when things don't work right.
I agree. I think he's a little better than Pacheco out of the backfield as well, like just receiving back. Okay, least favorite move?
Uh, I did not like some of their draft. I know that they need like they got that kid from I think he's from Tennessee, Norman Lott, and he was really really early in the draft. And I'm like, I know we need some to fortify the defensive line, but I was not real thrilled about that. I just wish they would have gotten just to irritate the AFC West in particular, get another receiver, you
Hmm.
know. Um, I just wasn't sold on it. And every time I go back and look at some of the stuff, I'm like, why did you guys do that? I like the back, the secondary guys that they drafted. You know, but Veach cannot has been not very good at defensive line drafting. So maybe somebody else in the building should do that.
Well, I always say that, like Bill Belichick was the same way with wide receivers. And I'm like, when
Right,
you have a deficiency in the draft, you should only go out and sign people that are good, and then you can draft the things you're good at drafting, like defensive line or
right.
whatever. And it's probably the same in your case with the
It
Chiefs. It's
is.
like go get defensive linemen that are good, and let's draft things that we know you can draft. Like players
Right,
and positions. Yeah.
or draft him late
Hmm.
and don't use a second on something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, secondary is fine, and obviously quarterback, he's the one that brought Patrick to town. But and then even wide receivers, in my view, he's drafted well. But uh,
Yeah.
that and a second round pick hurts a lot, and that's why I'm so adamant. Like that's my least favorite thing that they did.
Okay. Okay. I put down, and I understand why they did it, but with the offensive line problems, they traded away a really good left tackle in Tooney. So I mean, I'm sorry, guard, not left tackle, guard, but they did it for cap reasons.
Yeah.
But you just hate when that has to be the reason why you trade somebody with their offensive line so battered last year. If they could have kept him somehow and did what they did with the offensive line, I would love their offensive line so much better. But even though I understand it, it's still my least favorite move just because that was clearly what they needed to do this offseason. They got rid of one of the better ones in the league.
Yeah, no, you know how it is. But at the same token, that's why the NFL is great. It just it forces that. It forces those changes. And yeah, I mean, I didn't want to see him go, but
Yeah. You have to. But and I totally get it, but that
it's
was
same thing with Tyree going to Miami.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you don't want that's a Hall of Fame type player.
Right. You want to keep
Uh,
him if at all possible.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, green flag. What's your green flag going this season? The thing that you're sort of like most confident in the Chiefs, their biggest green flag.
Honestly, is that the core of that team do not take bad losses well. They call it petty Mahomes,
Oh, sure.
and that and he there is something to it. Once he's mad, and embarrassed, they have something to prove to themselves. And so I think between that and everything else that had gone on last year, on top of winning all those close games, my goodness, the refs are bailing them out. Taylor Swift, we hate everything, and they have embraced the bad guy, the villain. They might as well have a picture of Belichick up as far,
Sure.
just to make it, because, Andy Reid, he's a nice guy, but they need to have like a picture of Belichick just to make the bad, Darth Vaderness just come out. So to me, that's a green flag because when they are irritated, they do have like, it's almost like a checklist of, all right, you know, we'll, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that one. I went with they still have the best coach quarterback combination. That's the biggest green flag for me. Some honorable mentions, fixing the O line. The skill position players are going this season with Rice and Brown healthy, so they'll have all their weapons, and then their defense is underrated. I think people sleep on the defense because everybody's so focused on the offense, but they like when I told you they were the fourth best defense last year in scoring, a lot of people are surprised about that. Like, really? So,
I threw in the top 10. I didn't know they were number four.
yeah, number four. So,
Makes sense.
yeah, so I think that's an underrated thing, and I think that goes a long way because if you can even just get a glimpse of the old offense where you're putting up a big amount of points, I think you might, you know, life is going to be so much easier because the defense is good. So, a couple of
Yeah.
green flags, but my biggest is always going to be you have the best coach quarterback combo in the NFL, and till that goes away, it's always going to be my green flag.
Yeah. And Andy's going to have, like you said, he's got Rice, at least initially, Worthy. Hollywood Brown, and he's got these odd pieces that they drafted that I think he's going to find various things to just drive defensive coordinators crazy, especially, and that's what they want to do is go deep. So,
Yeah.
if they can do it, it's those two.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Fantasy football go to. Who do you got for some fantasy football go tos?
I want to go back to, and I wish Matt was here, Worthy.
Last year you
You
did not
know,
like him.
oh, he's too small. He's too that. He had 9 touchdowns last year, and um, and he lived up, especially when Rice went down, and they had to go sign Juju. I mean, he stepped up, and they're using him. Yeah, he's not. Nobody's gonna be Tyreek, and he's not Tyreek's physique, but they're using him very similar to Tyreek. And you throw it near him, he doesn't drop the ball that often. So I think that he's going to be set up for another big year because Rice is a different type of receiver. They have stated they want to go vertical, so it's either going to be Worthy or Hollywood. So I think Worthy's the guy that on the Chiefs because everything is so vanilla across the board. That would be the one I would try to roll with on in fantasy football.
Okay, I like it, and I'm with I had Worthy, Rice, both of them down. Depending, obviously it's all about value, but like Hunt might be a sneaky good late round pick. You're not going to have to pay a lot. I mean, draft him very high. You might even be able to get undrafted, depending, on how big your league is.
Right,
But I would
right.
I would take a chance at Hunt just because Pacheco normally does not stay healthy. Like he always has nicks and bruises, and so I would take a late flyer on Hunt if you could.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, and Pacheco doesn't get a whole lot of carries in the 5 yard within the 5 yard line anyway. So
Yeah. Okay, prediction. So the over under for the Chiefs is 11 and a half wins. What say you, Travis?
I was gonna say they're gonna go 12-5 or 13-4, depending on I don't know. I mean, the whole AFC West
Oh,
has a tough schedule. So
yeah. Yeah,
um,
real quick, we forgot to do the red flag.
oh.
Yeah. So, I have 13 and 4 as well. So I have the over. So let's just real quick hit on a red flag. What was your red flag for the Chiefs?
The Rice suspension not happening the first 4 games of the season. If
Sure.
people say that, oh, the NFL's trying to bail the Chiefs out, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. If it happens early, they can adapt in training camp. But now it's probably going to be, 4 to 6 weeks right in the middle of the season, which is like the worst time to have that. And they haven't escaped the preseason injury free, not to a lot of people, but hopefully the injuries don't pile up. But that Rice suspension, that's not a good time. It
No.
should be early, but
You would hope so. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I agree. That's a little fishy. I would have it at the start of the season. I've never seen it done in the middle of the season
no.
before. So, my red flags are the war of attrition, endurance. Mentally, it's just exhausting year after year, getting to the Super Bowl, getting to the championship game. And what did you say? It's seven in a row or five?
So so the 7 conference championship games,
Yeah.
they've won 5 of them, and plus it's been 9 division titles
Yeah.
in a row. And then the other thing that I would add to go along with that is um, something about if you look at the number of national TV games that they've been put on this year, it's crazy again. I mean, they don't have the crazy schedule like they had last year with those 3 games in 10 days or whatever the NFL made them do. Um, but yeah, I mean, mentally it can be very challenging this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, and I think too the West is kind of catching up a little
It
bit too.
is.
So last year I felt very confident in predicting the Chiefs last year to win pretty comfortably. Um, this year, although I'm still picking the Chiefs to win the division, um, I'm nervous, a little more nervous about it because I feel like teams are like the Chargers and Broncos are getting, I think, are getting a little closer now. So,
Yeah,
so that those
no,
are my red flags.
yeah, no, and I agree. It's not even last year. I thought that one of them would make it interesting, and I mean, the Chargers did, even
Kind
with
of.
some of the
It
weird
was like a
stuff.
four win difference.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still this like, they did Charger things, and I think that their coach, that, like we talked about, the AFC West coaching is catching up, is what the difference is, in my view.
Yeah, it's true. I think you're right. Okay. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.